And good afternoon, everybody. Once again, this is David Stearns with Haley Marketing Group, and welcome to today's Lunch with Haley webinar. This is our annual show and tell session, one of my favorites, and we bring a number of people from our team on to show off some of the projects that we've done, some of the cool different types of marketing that we've worked on for clients across the staffing industry. Unfortunately, we only have an hour, so we can only barely touch on some of the really neat things that we've done this year. But on today's call, Kelly, Rob, Brad, and Todd are going to show you examples of all kinds of different marketing. So what's on the tap for today? Well, just to give you a quick overview, we're going to look at websites. We're going to look at some really cool custom websites. We're going to look at some of our new starter sites. We're going to take a look at sales collateral, because in an era when you're trying to differentiate yourself and talking to prospects, having the right materials can make a big difference in how you're seen by employers. We're also going to look at direct mail. This is sort of everything that's old is new again, and now that everybody loves digital marketing, direct mail has sort of become the express lane at the supermarket, the fastest way to get to the decision makers you want to reach, and you're going to see some examples of how staffing companies are using direct mail. We're going to take a more in-depth look at a service that we launched this last year called Social Pro, really taking a much more advanced approach to using social media to building followers and creating conversions. We're going to take a look at blogging, which is one of the most important ways to make your company get found online. We're going to take a look at our brand new service in reputation management and see how that is helping people to generate positive reviews and keep all those nasty naysayers who you weren't going to place from leaving comments about you that you don't like on social media. You're going to see some of the updates to our award-winning content marketing service, Haley Mail. We've done a lot to enhance the product in the past year, and you're going to see some of the new things that we've added. And then we're going to take a look at our Talent Showcase product, and one big announcement that I will save to the very end. So with that stated, we're going to jump over to Kelly, who's going to walk us through some of the projects that she has worked on in 2014 and 2015. Kelly.
Yep. Thanks, David. Good afternoon, everyone. We're actually going to start with a longtime Haley Marketing client, Advanced Staffing Solutions. We did a website for them several years ago, and they actually are one of our best clients in that they pretty much use all of our features, so you'll be seeing them throughout the course of the presentation. I'm going to have David jump over into their website, but before we actually embarked on their new website, one of the issues they had was that their logo and their branding was dated. They wanted to be seen as a friendly and contemporary and an innovative firm, and the look and colors of their logo were from the early 1990s when they started the company. So we first embarked on a logo project with the goal of a fresh, bright look, one that showed a balance between three main components and audiences, and that's their clients, their candidates, and Advanced Staffing Solutions themselves. And they also wanted a logo that showed motion, as their name Advanced represents the motion and the movement of a career or of a company. The results, as you see on the screen, are a bright logo. We used bright oranges, greens, and blues, a very clean, contemporary font to represent all three of the, to represent that, and the three arrows in the circular motion do exactly what I just mentioned and represent their three audiences as well as the motion that they were looking for. This new branding and look has actually been carried through their new website, into a trifold brochure, and into their Haley Mail newsletter, which you'll be seeing later actually in our presentation. If you take a look at the website, this is one of Haley Marketing's new starter sites. We have the bold colors are carried throughout the site. David, if you scroll through the site, you'll see we've carried the logo colors. We've got bright colors throughout, and there's just a little bit of a delay here, but if we go down to their employer section, we can see we've added a little bit of personality through a team bios page. They use what is known, oh sorry, it's in the YS section, I apologize. And this team bios page allows them to add all of their team members into a slider with a brief bio and backgrounds for each person. So this gives a little bit of their own personality and shows each individual. And they also have the backgrounds, so as you click over those icons, images come up behind them that show a little bit about each person there. I know there is a little bit of a delay through the presentation, so we do encourage you to go take a look at these websites independently on your own to take a look at these features. Included in our starter site packages, as I'm sure David will be talking about later, are responsive designs, meaning that the site responds to any device, size, and monitor. And we also have a mobile-friendly plugin. So if you go to the site on a mobile device, you'll see a slightly simplified version when you get there to allow for your mobile user to get to the information that they're looking for very quickly. And now we're going to jump over to Real Street Staffing. This is another site we worked on, and it actually just went live a few weeks ago. Real Street has a focus, their focus is on architectural, engineering, and construction staffing and professionals. The goal of their site, again, they're a long-standing Haley marketing client actually, and the goal of their site was for a website that immediately presented who they are, their unique niche in the industry, and created a wow factor. This particular site includes an infinite scroll homepage featuring a parallax effect. And that parallax effect is where the image in the background, the information in the front, scrolls over an image in the background. This particular site, you'll see that the architectural, engineering, and construction specific images on the homepage starts as a sketch of a building and develops into a full building as you scroll. The homepage also features we're scrolled past it, but we features the Haley Marketing Search Jobs widget and featured jobs, allowing jobs to be updated right on their homepage. The job board is integrated with their ATS system. We have rotating testimonials. So as you scroll through, anywhere you see testimonials, they actually rotate. The homepage features our talent showcase. This allows them to highlight their top talent to their employers and has customized icons that represent different areas, each of their talents, so engineers, safety managers, estimators, etc. This also includes the latest news, which is updated with their most recent blog posts. So as they're adding content to the blog, that content is then pulled directly here onto the homepage of their website. We also feature our newsletter where you can easily sign up for any monthly newsletters and you can access their newsletter archive. We've carried the infinite scroll with the parallax effect and static background into the subpages of this site as well. Each subpage features content and information specific for that audience. So if you look at the careers page, we are featuring jobs, we're featuring testimonials that are of candidates and employees only, and we have strong calls to action, let's talk, search jobs, apply online buttons, with the ability to search jobs right there in the middle of the page. We've also used black and white imagery throughout the site to allow for the blue, the Real Street branding, to really pop and make their branding the main focus of the entire site. So that's Real Street in a nutshell. And now I'm going to ask David to jump back over and we're going to take a look at some sales collateral that we developed over the course of the last year. For those of you who joined us on the last year's show and tell and who have a good memory, we featured the Staff Masters website. We had a custom design site with many of the features we just showed you on Real Street. We've carried this look and this feel over into their new collateral pieces as well. They were developed to match the bold and clean look of the website for a consistent branded look, and we used the Staff Masters logo throughout throughout the design pieces as a watermark or design element. This collateral includes a pocket folder with a 4-page stitched-in brochure insert that gives a corporate overview and includes several sell sheets that focus on their specific services. The sell sheets can then be used individually to customize the message to the audience, or they can be used in the pocket folder to provide a complete overview of staff masters and their services to their audience and prospective clients. And next we're going to be looking at a direct mail piece. As David mentioned, as things become old, things become new again, and direct mail is a really great way to get attention and get in front of your audience. As you know, it's a great way to really target your specific audience. This particular mailing piece was for FlexiCrew, and they had a few challenges in their market. They were not well known to employers, and their sales reps therefore had a hard time breaking into prospects and companies. So we developed a multi-step direct marketing program focused on how being flexible provides employers a competitive advantage. That also played into the FlexiCrew name. The first piece in the multi-step program was the 3D teaser package that you'll see here. This package is a box that included a brochure that talked about flexibility in your workforce. It also included this magnetic clip men, and this with the FlexiCrew logo. This sits on people's desks. The clips are actual paper clips and can be used throughout the course of somebody's workday, keeping the FlexiCrew logo and name right in front of them. This particular piece was followed up with a series of sales letters, postcards, and follow-up phone calls for a 13-week campaign to gain access to prospects and employers.
And Kelly, before you wrap up FlexiCrew, one thing I wanted to just add to this, for anybody thinking about direct mail, one of the things that I really liked about this particular campaign is that the message was not simply, hey, we're a great staffing company, here's why you should use us. They took a message that's very focused on the value to the client, that flexibility is the source of competitive advantage for many businesses. They created a story around the value of flexibility. We call that a core story that they used to educate people. And they weren't hard selling FlexiCrew, they were soft selling their services by educating people more about how to use staffing as a tool to gain flexibility, to gain competitive advantage. And so when you're using direct mail in conjunction with your sales efforts, as Kelly mentioned, it's a great way to go directly at the people you want to do business with, get somebody's attention, because in this case, a big blue box with a series of small guys that are magnetic paper clips would certainly grab your attention. You're not going to throw that in the garbage without opening it. And then the content makes you want to learn more about the value that FlexiCrew can deliver. So when that salesperson makes the follow-up calls during that 13-week process, their probability of getting an appointment is dramatically higher than if they just picked up the phone doing nothing in advance of their calls. All right, Kelly, thank you very much for that overview of your projects.
Not a problem.
Rob, I think we're going to switch over to you, and I'm going to switch back over to looking at some things on the web.
Thanks very much, David, and good afternoon, everyone. Those of you who have worked with me before know that I like to talk a lot, and as David mentioned earlier, we had a lot more projects this year than we have time to show in this hour, and I probably could have taken that entire hour with some of the pretty cool projects I had this year. So, the first one that I'd like to show you is Apollo Technical. Apollo Technical is an engineering and IT firm headquartered out of Atlanta, and their main goal for the site was to get found. Their goal was SEO. They also wanted a highly polished and technical appearance, very professional. Their third goal was SEO. And their fourth goal was easy navigation to information and locations. And then their final goal, yes, was SEO. The site features a slider at the top of the site that you saw as I was speaking earlier, and then it features some hidden tabs. These three tabs that you see here, Jobs, Need Talent, and Why Apollo, don't have your traditional recipe box look for tabs. If you click Need Talent or Why Apollo, those areas, the content underneath those areas will change for the user. We wanted to just have a nice contemporary modern look without going old-fashioned, but also allowing us to keep the copy condensed so that the user who visits this website isn't overwhelmed with information when they first view the home page. So they can easily go to what they're looking for, whether it's talent or jobs or finding a little bit more about Apollo, and don't have to look at the content that they don't want to see, which keeps people on the site longer when they're not confused as to where they need to find something. A big feature of this website, David, if you'll go to the locations page, Apollo Technical, as I mentioned before, you might remember that their goal was SEO. What we did with their website is we created a custom locations page showing a customized map featuring all of their locations across the Southeast, Mid-Atlantic, and Texas and the Midwest. And each location features two location pages, one for engineering and one for IT. These location pages themselves are fully search engine optimized and feature similar tabs that you saw on the home page, allowing clients to request employees directly from the location page and job seekers to see specific jobs for that location. By creating this kind of presence for each of their offices, our hope is that we will not lose people to the website, that while they're on the location, they can do exactly what they want and don't abandon the site itself. That's pretty much what I have for Apollo. Our next site is a company out of the Philadelphia area, McGrath Systems. This is one of our starter sites. For those wondering, it's starter 13, and you'll see at the top that the first thing that you notice are these incredible images of children playing dress up. That's how I've referred to it throughout the site. And this directly met one of the first goals that McGrath Systems brought to us. They wanted to be different. They wanted to show who they are. They wanted to show some personality. As we know, sometimes staffing gets a bad rap outside our industry, and they really wanted to inject some fun into the process of finding employees or searching for a job. And they want it to be fun and also make it easy to find information. So you'll see here that the theme of children playing dress up continues throughout their website. And there's some pretty fantastic images. Again, just not enough time to show this. I do encourage you to take a look at McGrathSystems.com and see the really memorable imagery that is interjected throughout the site. Right now, we've just scrolled past the featured job section where job seekers can very quickly get to the latest jobs that McGrath has available. And then below that, all users can see the latest blog posts that McGrath has posted. We have continued the imagery for McGrath. They are a blogging client of ours also, and they have continued this imagery into their social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, to give a very coordinated look across all of their material. we had some different imagery when we first started this project, and when the client and I discussed what they wanted to see, I brought this to one of the designer who was working on the website. Hats off to Brian for finding these amazing imagery that exactly matched how the client wanted to represent themselves. And we know from this client that this look has gotten them a lot of attention, probably more compliments than I've heard on some of our other websites. Next, we can jump back into the PowerPoint presentation. At one point this year, I was working on 4 logo projects all at once. It seems that many of our clients who had dated or outsized or just logos that didn't represent who they are came to Haley to find a new identity. They took our advice and realized that their logo really should reflect their personality. And so what we do when a client comes to us regarding a new logo is we run a project for them through a crowdsourced website where we can provide the client with at least 40 completely different designs so that they can judge what fits them best. They know that this should be their first impression and that their brand identity for their website, their collateral, can all be derived from the style and colors and impression that we give from these logos. Admore Group is a company out of Toronto, Canada, and their logo was actually quite large. It was almost a design element in itself, and they wanted to simplify and completely modernize their logo. And they also wanted a staffing component in it. So as you'll see here, we played off the name Admore and brought in plus sign people, as I've been referring to them. And it's a nice play off of it, but also immediately suggests staffing or the people service industries that they're a part of. Alliance Resource Group is a company out of California that went for a slightly more elegant and professional look, but what the designer did with this is they brought the 2 colors in that the client wanted to bring in, the gold and the yellow, or the red and the yellow, and added some gray in for effect that we're going to be able to translate into Alliance's other collateral. And we use a font that is more professional, more executive looking, which suited the business that they do. The third one that I have here is Cornerstone Staffing Solutions. This is a national company based out of California, and we wanted to bring in a revised, more modern and contemporary version of the green they used to use on their former logo, which was quite dated, quite old, and we wanted to bring in the idea of the joining of clients, talent, and Cornerstone with some sort of contemporary modern looking logo mark, and the designer very cleverly got around one of these stipulations in the project, which was we don't want something that looks like a corner and we don't want something that looks like a stone. Well, this is very subtly a cornerstone while showing the 3 interlinked hexagon shapes. This is going to set a new brand identity for all the offices of Cornerstone, and we have brought this logo into Cornerstone Staffing Solutions website, a full set of collateral with sell sheets and a stitched pocket folder, as well as business cards and note cards. So they started from square one with Haley, and we've now launched a full brand identity and website presence for the company. Next, we have a long-term Haley marketing client who brought us a very unique project, something that not all of our staffing companies do. Sometimes, we want all of our companies to know that we work with, that we do more than websites. We can do, if something can be printed, we can do it. As you saw with Kelly's project, we had the magnetic men with the FlexiCrew logo on it, and we've had projects where we've done other kinds of trade show collateral. And here you see some outdoor advertising that we've done for PSG out of Boston. This was an extremely aggressive outdoor advertising campaign, and the intention of which was to position PSG itself as the career agent for Boston's most skilled professionals. The campaign included subway station and in-car advertising, outdoor posters, taxi toppers, and a full bus wrap. That's certainly aggressive indeed. And David, I have one more. Another company that we worked with this year was Panther Global Group, and they brought several projects to us. First, we did a custom website for them, and I do encourage you to take a look at that website. As you'll see, it's at pggna.com in the bottom right corner of the banner stand that I'm showing. Again, this is a site that I couldn't include based on time, but because I could show a piece of trade show collateral, I got to show some of the work that we did with Panther this year. Our goal with this was to create a very striking and custom website banner, and we needed to do this quickly for their primary upcoming trade show. And the design we drew from their custom website, and it reflects the custom, modern, and urban look of their website. You'll see that there are 3 layers in the design there. We bring in the Panther claw sort of from the left-hand corner, and we have a abstract design as the second layer, and then the layer behind that is a cityscape. And our goal with this was to give someone who has about less than a 3-second pass when they're going by a trade show just enough information to know what they need to stop at Panther's booth and ask questions. We simply revealed their divisions and their taglines, as well as their website address, so that those walking away have that bit of information. But rather than crowding the banner stand with needless information, we focused on the primary information that was needed to draw people into the trade booth.
Thanks, Rob. Great information, great samples, and I wish we did have a full hour just to show off your projects. But unfortunately, an hour is all we have for everybody, so now let's jump. And Brad, would you give us an intro to some of the things that your team's been doing with Social Pro?
Sure will, David. Thank you. Social Pro is actually a program that was created out of client requests. So we had a lot of staffing companies out there say, you know what, we know how important social media is, but with recruiting, with sales, with fulfillment, everything that we have to do on a daily basis, it just falls to the back burner and unfortunately doesn't get done. So there were really 2 choices for a few of our clients. They said, you know, are we going to go hire somebody full-time to do this? Because really it could be a full-time position. But if we do that, then we have to train them on staffing. We have to make sure that they have a strong business acumen. We have to understand that they know the goals of social media and how it ties to selling staffing and recruiting services. So there's a big learning curve there. And what we said is, you know what, we can actually handle this, and it's almost like we're an outsourced marketing department on the social side for our Social Pro clients. So basically what you get is a dedicated social media marketing consultant, somebody that really, really understands social on a very technical and business level. You get access to copywriters, you get access to a team of designers, and actually somebody that's going to go out and implement all of this great creative, all of these great messages on social outlets for you. Okay, so it really gives you a super strong presence on social from somebody that understands the staffing industry, that understands marketing, and truly understands social media and how to get the biggest impression. So what we offer in the service is, and we'll show some examples of this in a minute here, but images branded for your company. So everything we post, just about everything, is branded to your organization. So we increase visibility, we increase brand awareness. We post content daily on social networks like LinkedIn, Google+, Facebook, Twitter, some Pinterest. It really depends on your business, on your target audience, and where that target audience spends most of their time. And part of the program is looking into all of that and coming back with recommendations. And I'll show you a great example of this in a little bit here. A lot of what we do is sharing blog content, jobs, testimonials. We found that putting in graphics in specific areas on content can really drive up engagement and conversions. We'll show you an example of some YouTube content that we've created and some videos as part of this program. And probably the most important thing is that, as I mentioned, you get a dedicated social media marketing advisor. So you work with somebody on our team that understands marketing, understands social, and has a real good understanding of the staffing industry because they've been working with staffing clients for a few years now. So let's jump into some samples, and I'll show you some specifics on what we include in Social Pro. And this is an example from a company called Cowork Staffing, national staffing firm. And what we're trying to do is again, increase brand awareness. So every piece of content that we create for them, and we custom write all this content, we create a social graphic that ties to it. Okay, all social graphics has a nice striking image to draw your eye in, and there's been a lot of eye studies done on social that shows if you tie a strong image to it, you get increased attention, and it will show up organically in people's news feeds more often, and you get more engagement. Each graphic is branded to the company. We want to carry through that branding. We don't want it to be in your face, but we still want to carry through that branding, carry through those colors. And we take this blog content, tie an image to it, and then share it on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on other networks. And the goal really here is to not only have a strong social presence, but we don't want people just hanging out on LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook. We want to get them back to your website where they can take action. So each of these drives traffic back to the website. And on the next slide, we'll see here some other examples of social content. And up top is RPC, a company out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And they're also one of our reputation management clients, which we'll show you in a little bit too. But what we do is collect great testimonials from their candidates. So we want to hear all those feel-good stories. We want to position them as an employer of choice. So what we do is repurpose these testimonials as social content. Again, great way to show that you're doing a great service in the community. It shows employers that you treat your employees right, makes them want to work with you, and it shows future employees that, hey, this company is different. This company really cares. This company is making a difference for people. They're not just placing warm bodies. They're actually making a difference. So great, great social content. And below that, you'll see that we highlight some job opportunities too. What I see in the staffing industry all too often is people will post every single job on their Facebook page. And what happens? Well, over time, people don't engage with those jobs. They don't care. They unfollow you. And also Facebook in their algorithm sees that, you know what, hey, people aren't interacting with your content, so we're not going to show your content anymore. So your organic reach over time goes down. We're trying to reverse that. So instead of showcasing every single job opportunity, we pick maybe one a week. That is a featured position, and we drive traffic to that and drive traffic back to the job board. And it's been a very effective way at driving very good targeted candidate traffic back to the site. On our next slide, I'm going to show you, while this doesn't reside on social, I want to show you how all of these social graphics interact with the website itself. So earlier I mentioned that one of our goals is to not have people hang out on Facebook and LinkedIn, but rather get them back to the website. And when we have them make that leap from Facebook or from Twitter over to the website, we want there to be consistency. So as you see here, we carry through the same branding on those graphics that we share on social right into the blog post itself. It's a seamless transition. And then at the bottom of this post, you see that graphic that says search jobs. And one thing that we consistently do here, we have a team of 8 social media consultants here that are continually looking at Google Analytics, and they're testing different things to see what gets the most conversions. And what we found is that instead of just having something at the bottom of the blog post that says, hey, view our current open assignments, if we include an image there, those images get clicked on more frequently. So we're using social to drive traffic back to the site. We're using images to engage people and great content to get them hooked. And then we're using these call to action banners at the bottom of the posts to increase conversion rates. So more and more people are coming to the site, more and more people are converting. So the lesson here is to think about the end goal. So what do you want to get people to do? And then make it easy for them to do that. You know, our goal on this page is to get people to go to search jobs and to get people to apply. So we've tried to make it as easy and simple as possible. And all of this is done with our Social Pro service. On the next slide, one thing that we've just started to introduce is some video content. So some people like to look at infographics. Some people like to sit down and read through an article. Other people appreciate being able to watch a quick video and seeing the high-level points. So with the program, we're mixing in all of those different types of content. We're appealing to your entire audience, not just a certain segment. And we're giving people options for how they interact with your brand, what platforms they interact with you on, and how you present content. So in this example, and we're not going to show a live example because the video doesn't really come through that well on the webinar platform, but you can go to YouTube, you can search CoWorks, and you can see an example of some of these videos. But we take a piece of content like this, choosing a job that revolves around your passion, and we break it up into easily to digest points. And we present that in a nice, compelling way. So it turns what would be possibly a dull article into something that's really compelling, something that's cool. And we don't just let this video sit out there on YouTube. No, what are we going to do with it? We're going to import it into your site. So we're going to showcase it on your site. We're going to feature it on your Facebook page. We're going to maybe create some little graphics that drive traffic back to it. So really everything is integrated. You have all of these social platforms, but our goal is to drive traffic back to your website where they can take action. So now that we're getting all this visibility, we're on all these different platforms, our real goal is engagement. So we don't just want to have a great presence, we want to have a presence that gets people to take action. And part of the program is having somebody that's actively out there monitoring your social channels. Okay, so your social media marketing consultant is looking at what conversations are happening on Twitter. And a lot of people say to me, well, the Twitter, I don't get it. It doesn't have any business value. Well, I'm here to tell you it does, and it has business value in more business value in some industries than others. But Twitter is a great way to get past the gatekeeper. So if you find a decision maker that has a Twitter account, you can rest assured that you can get in front of them pretty easily. So it's a great way to get past that gatekeeper and get to the key decision maker, get to the hiring manager, and have a really strategic conversation. Your Facebook page, your LinkedIn presence, we keep track of all that. We respond to people when appropriate, or we direct it back to you if it requires a direct response. But having this interaction and having this social interaction not only connects one-to-one with the person that you're interacting with, but it gives everybody else that sees this conversation the feeling that, hey, this company is on it. This company cares about their employees. This company cares about their clients. They're interacting. They get a good feeling when they do research about your company and see all of this interaction and all of these conversations. So really, and the next few slides really hit home for me, I'm a data guy. You know, I think all these nice pictures and this nice interaction is wonderful, but really, is it adding value to my business? Is it helping me improve the bottom line? And what we do as part of this program and as part of a lot of services we offer, we're looking at all the data and all the statistics on the back end to make sure that we're making the right marketing decisions, and those decisions are having an impact, again, on the bottom line. So I've pulled out 3 specific examples of clients that are using our Social Pro program. One is a national staffing agency, offices all across the country. And what we've been able to do is increase traffic from social media sites. So we can see, based on analytics, where traffic is coming from. So over 330% increase in social sites in just a few months. And this is organic traffic. This isn't even paid traffic. We haven't even touched on that yet. But and what we found is, this increase in traffic, again, it's great. We want to get more traffic, but is this traffic converting? So one thing that one of our goals for this company is to get more people to their Contact Us page. So get more people to pick up the phone, call local offices, or fill out a form. So we looked at traffic to the Contact Us page and specifically looked at social traffic to the Contact Us page. And I was really surprised at how much social traffic converted. So 12% of all social visits converted to people that went onto the Contact Us page. So we're sharing this great information, sharing stats, articles, videos, etc. And 12% of those people were converting. Huge conversion percentage. I think this was much more than any other traffic source. And we were able to increase their social followers. So people that liked them on Facebook, people that followed them on Twitter, people that followed their company on LinkedIn by 54%. And again, this is all organic. This isn't even paid. So we weren't buying followers. This was all by sharing good, relevant content that people wanted to consume. All right, so next, this was a national company. Next, I wanted to look at a local level. So is there a difference between the results we get on an individual one office location compared to somebody that's doing work all across the country and has 50 or 60 offices? And while the overall numbers are a little bit lower, we saw the same trajectory. We saw the same results. So what we're looking at here is growth in social media traffic to the website. So as you can see here, there's been huge growth, and it's consistent growth. So if we look at this again, and we'll look at it next quarter, we'll see that traffic has climbed even higher and continues to climb. And when you think about the high conversion rates of social followers into people taking action, picking up the phone, calling, or applying online, this is super valuable traffic. This is very specific traffic, and it's the exact target audience we're trying to reach, so it's having nice business value. The third example that I want to show you is looking at an individual niche industry. So I know a lot of you on this call are probably recruiting in very specific areas. So one that I took was healthcare. So in this particular case, this client was looking to recruit nurses, physical therapists, occupational therapists, allied health professionals. So people that traditionally are hard to recruit, hard to get in front of, and in many cases, there's low unemployment there. So we sat down and we strategized and said, how can we get in front of these people? These healthcare professionals, many of them aren't on LinkedIn, many of them aren't on Twitter. Where they are is on Facebook. So we had a very concerted effort to grow their Facebook following. And you can see here that dating back to last year, they didn't have much growth. So if you look back in November there, they didn't have much growth in their social platform until about March. And that's when we started to take over, and we said, you know what, we're going to be very targeted. We're going to get in front of the right people that they're looking to recruit in these hard-to-find areas. So we've seen a nice increase there. Next, I want to talk about blogging. Blogging isn't something new. It's something that we've been doing and preaching about for a long time. But what is new is Google's continued adjustment to their search algorithm. They just released a new search algorithm called Phantom, and basically what that looks at is demoting sites with quote-unquote thin content. So if your website out there is just a brochureware website, you're going to see a decline in search results. If your site has a lot of great quality content in the form of articles, tips, best practices, blogs, videos, you're going to see your traffic increase. Okay, and the example we're showing here is a client that listened to us back in 2011. They said, you know what, we believe you. We believe that content is the way of the future, and we're going to invest in that. So they're blogging about 8 times a month with us. We're writing all of the content for them, sharing it on social, and they went from 17,000 visits, which is pretty good, up to over 220,000 visits a month. So 200% increase there. Their search engine traffic alone went from under 7,000 people a month to almost 140,000 people per month. I mean, that's a huge, huge increase. So we've been able to drive some great results there and consistently drive more traffic. So if you're not blogging right now, or if your site has thin content, you really, really need to invest in adding that content.
And Brad, I think we need to double check our math because I'm pretty sure 17,000 to 221,000 is an 1,100% increase rather than 200. So we did even better than the highlight.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I had that statistic in there, but it got changed to 200. But yeah, so it's much better than we've noted there. Thank you. The next thing, or next product I wanted to highlight was reputation management. And this is something that was launched at the end of last year. And the reason we launched it is because we looked at the staffing industry and said there's a big problem. Staffing companies get a bad rap because we have 200 people that apply for a position. Maybe we're able to place 2 of them, and then you have 198 people that are upset. So what we said is, you know what, we need to fix this. We need to get a good story out about the staffing industry. The challenge is many staffing reviews out there from unqualified candidates that you can't typically place. So those are the people that are most vocal. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. So with reputation management, what we do is go out there and we survey your candidate base. We capture your Net Promoter Score. And then people that leave a good Net Promoter Score that rate you highly, we encourage them to leave an online review on Google, on Yelp, on Facebook. We want those stories to be told. On the flip side, the people that had a bad experience, again, many times they're unqualified and you can't place them with your client. We give them a private feedback channel. We still want to hear that feedback so that we can take that and improve our service, but we collect it in a private area so that it doesn't hit Yelp, it doesn't hit Facebook, and it doesn't negatively impact your brand on social. And I just have a few case studies here. The first one is a company national company. They fill a ton of picker-packer positions and things like that. And they've said, you know what, we want to have a big focus on Glassdoor and Indeed because we have a presence there. So they were able to collect 271 5-star testimonials, and this is just in a few months. So they're surveying a lot of people, they're getting a lot of response, and it is really impressive when you land on their website and see all these great reviews. Another example here is from a specialty recruiter. So they recruit in the hospitality industry. And this was actually one of our first clients using the service. So in about 6 or 7 months, they were able to collect 127 5-star testimonials. And Scott, the owner of Horizon Hospitality, actually gave us a great testimonial. And one of his challenges was that he had some negatives out there, people that he couldn't place, but they were giving everyone a bad impression of his company. We were able to bury those negative reviews with a lot of positives. So if somebody looks at it and sees 10 positives and 2 negatives, they focus on the 10 positives. If they only see 2 negatives, they're going to get a really bad impression of your company. And then on the next slide, just an example of some of the types of testimonials we've been able to collect. In 6 or 7 short months, we've collected thousands of amazing stories. But here's an example of some of the feedback and a more true representation of the good that staffing and recruiting firms are doing across the country and putting people back to work. So there's a lot you can do with this with these testimonials once you do collect them. So really low cost service. I encourage everybody to take a look at it. It's very valuable, and we're helping close to 50 staffing firms do this now.
Yeah, and Brad, one thing I want to add in there is, we were talking to one of our clients in Seattle about their experience with the reputation management, and they said what they really like is for each of their locations, it's very fast, not quite, but almost real-time feedback on the performance of each branch. And if they have got a problem, they see it in terms of consistent reviews that are 1 to 6 on that Net Promoter Score that immediately comes back to the manager, gives them an opportunity to address it, and they're showing the candidates and clients, we're trying to address this before those people go to social media to complain. So, not just on the positive end, but on the negative end, it really helps provide faster feedback to help people run staffing companies better. All right, we are now going to change direction, and Todd, who helps head up all of the content decisions we make for our Haley Mail service, is going to introduce you to a lot of the new things that we have done in 2014 and 2015.
Yeah, thanks, David. There's been a lot of changes over the past couple of years in email marketing, the biggest being probably over the past 2 or 3 years about mobile-friendly designs, and that was a big point of emphasis for us over the past couple of years. And you can see we just recently redesigned some of the standard templates that we use for our themes in Haley Mail. And you'll notice the designs here do follow those mobile trends. So you have one-column layouts, you have large attention-getting images, very contemporary colors, some large call to action buttons. So if you're viewing these emails on a small phone, it's very simple for you to click the link that you want. You know, we've all had that problem where you're trying to zoom in on a website or zoom in on an email, and you're trying to get your little pinky finger in there to click the tiny little link. Well, we solved that by adding nice big call to action buttons. The other thing that we've done over the past couple months, now that all of our emails are mobile friendly, is we've made them responsive. So what that means is if you are looking at our emails on an iPhone, on an Android, on an iPad, on a desktop, they're all going to look the same. It's going to scale the image to fit whatever screen you're looking at it on. In the past, and I'm sure you've seen this with other emails, you know, you may see if you open it up in Yahoo on your Android phone, you might just see the top corner of the email. Or if you look at it on Gmail on an iPhone, you might see the entire thing. Well, we've solved that, so now all of the emails that we send out are completely responsive, so you're going to see the entire email on the screen. You may have to scroll down, but width-wise, it's going to be exactly the same. So here's on the screen, you see a couple examples of some of our standard themes. What we can also do then for our clients who want a more branded version is take the content that's in those standard emails and put it into a more branded design. Here we see, again, Advanced Staffing Solutions. We take the content from our Great Ideas newsletter every month and we put it into a nice branded version. So it has their color scheme, their logos. It gives them a little more flexibility. So if they wanted to add some top candidates in there, they could put some top candidates in there. If they have some company news they want to add in, they can add it in there. So we have two different options available, one the standard, the ones that you just saw, but for our clients that want a little bit more branding, we can take it to the next level and come up with a nice branded template for them. The other big change that we've made over the past couple months is we've redesigned our resource centers. We have a staffing resource center which is filled with great HR, staffing, hiring information for our clients, and we also have a candidate resource center that's full of job seek information, career information, work-life balance information for your candidates. And all of our clients have access to this. They can add it to their website. We provide them with the links. And what we did recently is we kind of redesigned some of these sections. So we streamlined a few on the candidate side. We have 4 sections there: land that job, manage your career, personal success, and work-life balance. And on the client side, we have employment law, hiring process, leadership tips, motivation, retention, staffing essentials, and tools. And what this does is it adds a whole bunch of extra pages to your website. So you've got this great resource that you can direct people to. And not only that, but for most of the articles that we have in there, we also have print versions available. So if there's articles that our clients see in there that they say, geez, you know, this would be great to use as a direct mail piece or at a networking event or at a job fair, they can contact us. We can provide them with some really nice desktop published versions of these articles that they can then print out and take with them on any sales calls or at any events. One of the best tools of Haley Mail that I think is our ebooks. We try to design about one of these per quarter. And what it is it's a nice ebook. We take an article that kind of fits that format and create a really nice ebook from it. We've kind of taken that to the next level now where we have the ebook stored on a landing page. So from the email or from a website, we direct people to this landing page. And in order to download the information, they need to input their name and email address. And then every time that somebody does that, an email is sent to our clients letting them know who has downloaded the ebooks. So they get a really nice lead generation tool there on top of the great ebooks. And the nice thing about this, it's all included in the Haley Mail program. If you were going to do something like this on your own, probably looking in between $3,000 and $5,000 for each one. This is now all part of the Haley Mail program. So once per quarter, you're getting a really great designed ebook that is also going to be used as a lead generation tool. And we provide this link to all of our clients. So Not only is it in their email, they can add it to their blog, they can add it to their homepage. We actually have some clients who are taking it to the next level and creating an ebook resource center on their page and taking all of the ebooks and putting them on one page. So they can also add it to their social media. It's just a great way to drive traffic to your site and generate some leads. And in terms of content, we're very excited. Coming up in August, we're going to be doing our first webinar for all of our Haley Mail clients. Linda Sasser, who's one of our regular content providers, is going to be doing a webinar on performance reviews. And the nice thing is this gives all of our clients a webinar that they can promote and encourage their clients and prospects to attend. And it didn't cost them anything. We are taking care of all of the setup of this. We're coordinating everything with Linda. She's going to be providing the webinar. So now all of our clients have this really great resource that they can use to promote and didn't actually have to do any of the work for. So it's one of the new highlights of our content plan, and hopefully if all goes well and we get enough attendees, this is going to be a regular part of our content plan for all of our Haley Mail clients.
Excellent. Thanks, Todd. Good stuff all around, team, and I will sort of wrap things up in our last few minutes. Just want to share a couple of updates and sort of highlight some of the things that you've heard that relate to how Haley Marketing Group services work. Both Kelly and Rob talked about some examples of websites that were Haley Marketing Group starter sites and custom sites. As many of you may know, our mission in the world is to take world-class marketing and to make it more affordable. I grew up in a family staffing company where we wanted to be using an ad agency to help market our services, but we simply couldn't afford it. We started our company in 1996 to help other staffing companies solve that problem, to make that marketing more affordable. And one of the ways we do that is by creating services where a lot of the work is already done. So Haley Mail that Todd just showed is an example of that, where we license campaigns to be used in specific markets, and you're only a person in your city that's got a specific version of Haley Mail that you're using. Another way we do that is with our starter sites, and in late 2013 we completely revamped all of our starter sites, came up with new designs that took advantage of everything people want on the web. Bold designs, some of the things Kelly talked about in terms of parallax vertical scrolling, taking advantage of the inclusion of the most popular features and calls to action to drive response, and of course mobile friendly, fully responsive. Between the time we launched that site and today, we really focus on things that you never see, the process, how a website gets built. And so now we can figure out what features do you want, we can map that out, and once the content is produced, we can turn around a website in about, the actual development time is about 1/5 of what it used to be, which is why we now can provide sites with more features at the same price we charged for a much lesser website several years ago. So if you are interested in upgrading your website, one of the best places to start is to contact us to get a copy of our staffing website features checklist. It's a document that will help you just plan what you want your site to do, and we'd be more than happy to show you what we could then do with either a starter or custom site. Another tool that we launched not too long ago is called the Talent Showcase, and it's really just starting to catch on with staffing companies who are looking at ways to monetize their talent inventory, or in today's marketplace, when it's getting harder to find candidates, to help accelerate the replacement of people coming off assignment and to place every candidate who comes in your door that's placeable. And the Talent Showcase is just what the name implies, a way for you to showcase your top candidates right on your website. You can integrate it with your email marketing so that you're driving people to profiles of your top talent, giving them the ability to learn about these individuals, and if they're interested in seeing the resume of that person, they can just click a button and they're connected with the recruiter who's responsible for that individual. And so for a very low monthly fee, you can now have a tool that helps you make more placements out of the talent that you're already spending your time interviewing. And finally, I promised you the big news. Some of you may have seen it through email from us. Some of you may have seen it on ASA Central, although our announcement was quickly taken down because it was promotional. We have launched a brand new website that's for you, that is for free. free content. We have been huge proponents of content marketing since 1996, and today we're taking it up a notch, or I should say this week we're taking it up a notch. We've always given away good information through our articles, our blog posts, our how-to guides, our ebooks, our webinars, and now we're taking a step further by actually giving away free marketing. So if you have not already done so, go check out Staffing Works. The URL is staffingworks.haleymarketing.com. What we're trying to help you do is promote the value of staffing services. This is like a PR campaign for the staffing industry. We're trying to help employers and job seekers better understand the real value that our industry delivers, to show them how we can help you, how you can help them, save time, reduce costs, drive productivity, to teach those 4 out of 5 job seekers who don't think about staffing firms why talking to a staffing firm should be their first stop when they're looking for employment. So I hope that you will take advantage of Staffing Works, and also if there's content you're looking for, there's a form right on the Staffing Works website where you can submit your requests and we'll work it into future content plans. Well, we are at 3 o'clock Eastern, which means we have wrapped up our hour of show and tell. I hope everyone has enjoyed seeing a few examples of the different kinds of projects we are doing. If you do have questions, please call us, email us, connect with us on social. Let us know. We are more than happy to answer questions about what you can do for your marketing. And if there are no questions today, well then mark your calendars, because in just a few weeks we're going to be doing a webinar on mobile recruiting. Mobile recruiting has been promoted as the up-and-coming trend for the last few years, but I was doing some research and putting together this webinar, and there's some just amazing stats about what's happening in the world of mobile and smartphones. And I'm going to teach you some things you can do to be more mobile optimized in terms of every aspect of how you recruit. So mark your calendars for Thursday, August 27th, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Lunch with Haley. And to the team at Haley Marketing, thanks guys, great job today.
Thanks a lot, David.